Hi everyone, this is Pamela Belen. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you decided to join us today. This communal reading is something I did last week and I liked it so much, and I've gotten very positive feedback on it, so I decided to do it again for this week. So just like last week, we're going to do a communal reading, which are the cards you're seeing right now. And then at the end, we'll transfer over into a different deck to get something just a little more personalized. But as you know, the only way to get something less general and more hit or miss, because it is communal and it's meant for anyone who watches it, it's going to be very, very general, because we're all, you know, focusing on different things in our lives, different events, and something like this would be very, very general. But yeah, so this is a spread that I want to share with you guys. It's something I use quite often. You know, when you have an important decision to make, or something's just kind of gotten into your brain about the direction of your life, or friendships you have, or whatever it might be. So when you have two options and you're trying to decide between the two, but let's say you've done all the pros and cons and you've talked to friends and you've reflected on it and then you made a decision, but you're still not feeling 100% about your decision. That's when I usually turn to my tarot cards and ask them, like, what do you see, and what do you have to tell me? And is there some, veiled information or some misinformation I've received that I'm not considering in my decision making process here? So I find that if I consult my tarot after I've done all my own thinking, engaging, and all that stuff, I feel like the cards really do give me a really good general look at a situation that finally helps me make a decision I'm really comfortable with and I'm very happy with. So I feel like this can be applied to just about everything. I feel like I've used this spread for just about every decision that I've had difficulty kind of coming to a conclusion that I'm comfortable with. So I figured I'd share this with you. So we're going to do, it's going to be two options. So just for the sake of keeping it clear and easy and provide good information, because obviously sometimes we have decisions where there's more than two options. So but for this particular spread, we would really be only looking at two options. So it could be like a yes or no, or it could be, if you have two job offers, you can one set of cards on the side would be one option, and then this one would be the other one. This here is going to be how you're feeling at the moment about this decision you need to make. And then this one on the bottom would just be kind of like a closing card, just additional information you may need. So, like I said, very, very simple, straightforward, but really effective and helpful when you're really kind of stuck and not sure what to do, or how to move forward. So let's begin. So I want you guys to think about something, decision you have to make. It's kind of weighing on you a little bit, or again, something that you've decided already, but you're still not 100% in with your decision, right? So in a case like that, I want you to assign one option to this set of cards here. There's three cards. And then the second option is going to be here with these three cards. So we're going to read everything and just see what the cards have to say to you about your two options. All right, so let's begin with basically, where are you with this decision that you need to make? What's it about? How are you feeling about it? And all right, so the cards are showing us, sorry, just trying to get the reflective light out of the way. So we're looking at the beautiful Hermit card. And the Hermit card is a major arcana card, which means that this decision that's kind of weighing on your mind, and by you, I mean, the universal you. So whoever's listening, everyone who's listening, this applies to all of you, in the sense that the decision you need to make is a very big decision. It's a life decision. It's something that would definitely impact your entire life, or it can change the course of your life. So that's probably why you're having a hard time kind of finally saying, okay, I'm doing this. I've decided. End of story. This is such a big decision, and you've been reflecting on it for a long time. So you're feeling worried. You're scared you're going to make the wrong decision, and you're scared that the impact is going to be huge. So understandably, you've had a hard time deciding one way or the other. So you're in the right place. So we're going to take a look at the next set of cards, which are these three over here, and this is going to represent your first option. So whatever you assign to be your first option, here we go. We're going to read it. We're going to read these cards. Oh, we have a reversed card here. Don't worry about that, though. It's not negative. It's just kind of changes the meaning a bit. So, all right. So with this option, whatever it means to you, with option 1, we're looking at a situation where there's a lot of potential. So whatever your situation might be, whether it's a job, whether it's an opportunity you're being given, if it's a relationship, I feel like there's a lot of potential that can come from going in this direction. This could actually, for some of you, be really actually about deciding whether or not to have a child or to start a family or something along those lines. It could be about starting a new business. It's kind of like giving birth to a new idea. So in this option over here, if that's what your reading is about, or your option is about, it is reflected here. I do see it, but what I also see is, unfortunately, it looks like a bit of a loss of personal power, a bit of a loss of opportunity to make money. Like you might kind of feel like, now before you actually go either route, you're looking at just a sense of not really succeeding the way you had hoped. So I feel like there's a bit of a letdown, and then you'll actually feel a bit stuck in the situation as well. So here I see a bit of a difficulty, either health-wise or money-wise or career-wise or future-wise, like abundance-wise. There's kind of like a bit of a feeling of being stuck with this option. So it starts off full of potential, but it looks like it eventually kind of peters out and ends up with feeling a bit stuck and stagnant. So whatever this represented for you, I would really, really look more into it. I would not just jump into this, because it looks like it might end up working against you. So it'll start off fine, but then you might regret it. So that's your first option. So now your second option, let's hope it's better. Your second option is over here, and we're looking at these three cards. And okay, so what I see here in the second option is more of a, again, this could also be about health, it could be about business, it could be about a relationship. Whatever your second option is, I do see some old patterns kind of coming up of being a bit impulsive, maybe spending a little bit too much time or energy or money, whatever it is. I do see a bit of a kind of, there's a bit of a balance there, so that's good, but I do see the tendency for a bit of just patterns that work against you. So whether it's negative thinking, or whether it's I don't know, smoking, let's say drinking, let's say gambling, any kind of negative thoughts or negative patterns of behavior that kind of keep us stuck as well. I do also see a little bit of a movement and impulsivity, so it could be a pattern of spending money or spending energy, spending, maybe working yourself too hard or something like that, where you're kind of like depleting yourself in some way. So I do see a little bit of a loss of balance, and then some impulsive actions. So yeah, so there you go. So I'm not gonna tell you which one I would choose. I'm not going to tell you this is a better option than the other one. I'm just giving you the information I see in the cards, and it's totally up to you to decide on which route to take. So it looks like I said before, there's been a lot of reflecting on this, and I feel like there's going to be a lot more. So yeah, I mean, what I see here is like, also in the first option, I see things kind of getting stuck, like I said again, in some sort of abundance, or there's just no real room for growth here. So that's the only reason why I would look at this as probably the least favorable option of the two. And I feel like in situations like this, so this isn't necessarily a worse or better option. I think this is more of just kind of a warning of letting you know you might fall back into patterns that have kind of left you in not very favorable situations in the past. So you want to kind of watch that. Don't just go into whatever decision you make just kind of hoping things work out. I feel like you'll have to work, if you go this route, you'll have to work really hard to make sure that things don't end up the way they always do. So in that realm of your life. So there we go. So I hope that helps you a little bit. There is more information coming. So let's take a look at this last card. This is just kind of like a closing thought from the tarot cards to everyone. And okay, this is great news because this is a card of kind of waiting and seeing. So what I'm seeing here is a spread of, it looks like whatever options or whatever situation is you're looking at, both options are not that great at the moment. Maybe you still need to reflect a little bit more, right? Maybe you still need to think about it a little bit more. Maybe isolate yourself in some way and really, really, really think it through. You know, A or B, yes or no, go or stay, like whatever it is that your options are here. I feel like this is saying don't make a decision just yet. So if there's some way to kind of put things aside and shelf it for a second, I would highly, highly recommend that, especially because, like I said, these two outcomes here are reading kind of similarly, you know, where it's showing you the difficulties, like, you know, here you're getting stuck after a promising beginning, and over here there's growth, but there's also patterns that are leaving you depleted or feeling depleted, so, or feeling badly about yourself in some way. So, you know, I'm not really sure here which way I would go personally. So I'm glad this card came out because this makes a lot of sense. It's asking you, you know, the cards are asking you to consider just waiting for a little bit. Maybe, you know, right now it's the end, almost the end, well, it's mid December at this point. So maybe put it off if you can. Obviously, we can't always do that, but if you do have the luxury of being able to put it off, I would put it off till early next year. Just because, you know, with the holidays and everything that's going on, it's kind of hard to really think things through in a positive way. So I would personally put this on a shelf until January, after the new year, once things have settled down, and then look at this again, which is what I think the advice or the ending words here are for everyone who is listening to this. So yeah, again, whatever your options are, think it through a little bit more, but don't actually act on it just yet. Just wait and see. In a few weeks, 2-3 weeks, maybe revisit this and think more seriously about what you think you'll do at that point. So, all right. So I'm really sorry that it wasn't a very clear-cut yes or no, or, you know, very clear-cut, yeah, you know, clearly need to go with this option or that option. But that's life, right? And that's especially life right now. I think in this time of COVID and everything being so restricted, this is like the card of the year. If I had one card to use and describe 2020, it would absolutely be this Hanged Man, you know, where you just kind of suspended and waiting and seeing and not able to act in all the things that you kind of hoped would go in a certain way. Everything's just been kind of turned around. So it's not surprising that this came up as the final card of, I would say, just final thoughts. It's not necessarily advice, but yeah, but it did kind of come through as advice. So I hope that's helpful in some way. So now I'm going to put all this away, shuffle my cards again, and I'm going to do a pick a card for additional advice. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, hello again. So now we're at the second portion of this reading. So this is going to be a little more individualized, right? Because you're going to get to pick one of these three cards for additional advice on the situation you need to make a decision on that we read just now. So, you know, I know it kind of ended sort of open-ended and just asking you to wait. So I think these three options here, I'm offering them as kind of if you do wait, if you do have that luxury to wait before you make a decision and verbalize it to somebody, what can we expect, right? So if you do kind of have the patience and the ability and the freedom, what can you expect to happen in regards to this situation that you just finished doing a read on? So we have option 1 here. So I'm using these little boxes just because they're pretty, and I just think they're very, very special, actually. They come from different parts of the world that I've been to, so they make me really happy. So this is India, this is China, and then this is Malaysia. So I'm sorry, not Malaysia, Thailand. So yeah. But we will separate them by hues, I guess. So we'll do this as a turquoise. What do you think? We'll do turquoise. We'll do red or burgundy, but we'll just stick to, like, yeah, turquoise, burgundy, and then just cobalt blue over here, just to make things more complicated than they need to be, really. But anyways, I want you to focus and think about the reading that I just gave, the communal reading for everyone, trying to make a decision and pick an option, and see what jumps out to you here. Out of these three here, what calls to you? And once you pick one, you can go ahead and listen to the reading. Each reading is going to be about 2 or 3 minutes, so don't expect it to be very long, which is why I won't put a timestamp. Just because I don't think it's necessary. It's, you know, a couple of minutes, so you can just kind of fast forward if you decide you want to go with the cobalt blue. But first I'm going to start off reading here for this turquoise one, then I'll move on to the maroon color one, and then the final one will be the blue one, cobalt blue. All right, so let's start with you guys here with the turquoise. So again, this is just kind of an extension of advice regarding this reading that kind of left us all feeling maybe a little bit frustrated because you want advice, you pull the cards, and this happens pretty often as well. Not always, but every once in a while when there really is no option that's better than the other for the moment. But I love the fact that we got the Hanged Man as that last card, letting us know right now it's just not the right time to make a big decision. So just wait a second and then come back to this, you know. So now we're going to make believe that you have waited a few weeks. So what can you expect by waiting on this situation that you have to make a decision on? All right, and we have the 6 of Air. All right, so this is a really great card. I actually get this card a lot, and I've learned to appreciate it. It's in other decks, it would be known as the 6 of Swords, and I'll just read what it says down here. So it says, things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, and taking a trip. So beautiful words, right? So you've waited a little bit of time, and now you've made your decision. What you can expect to happen is these things, right? This is a beautiful little unicorn over here. A unicorn or a Pegasus, I'm not really sure. It might just be a horse, but that's the main character in this depiction here, and you know, this creature has gone through some really rough times, learned a lot of lessons, feeling very humbled by life, you know, because we kind of feel like everything revolves around us, and life every once in a while likes to remind us that it does not. So when things don't go the way we want them to or expect them to, it can be very, very sobering, right? So you could either fight it and make things harder for yourself, or you can do what this creature here has done, and they've learned their lessons, taken their lumps, and now they're moving forward. So they're moving past the difficulties, past the hard times, and moving towards clearer waters, you know, smoother waters. So things are looking up, which is what it says down here. So for this group 1 over here, I feel that the cards are letting you know that if you do wait, making this decision is going to be much easier, and it's also going to lead to a positive result. So yes to waiting if you can to make this decision, because it looks like it's going to end well if you do. So there you go. This is the first card, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it helps in some way, you know, to let you know if you've had a hard time making decisions at this moment, you're not alone. It's that time, you know, it's just that time of the year, and also just the time of 2020 where things are just a little more involved and complicated than they used to be. So good luck. And then we're going to start here our reading for group 2, or the reddish or maroonish colored box. And again, as I explained before to the other group, this is kind of like a look to the future, right? Where your reading right now, the communal reading, was pretty open-ended. So now you've decided, okay, I'm going to do as the cards are suggesting, and I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to make my decision. And which, if you can, I really think it's a good idea. If this was something I was reading for myself, I would definitely try my best to be able to put off making a final decision, at least until the new year. So, and let's say you've done just that. So now what can you expect? It's kind of like we've gone into the future a few weeks. What can you expect by waiting and making your decision in mid-January as opposed to now? So let's see what the cards say. All right, there we go. So the Dreamer, this is a great card. This is where the tarot story officially begins. It all begins with that dream, right? So I can read down here. It says a leap of faith, following your dreams, unexpected opportunities. So yes, yes, yes on waiting, right? I mean, it's very, very clear there that it's time to, well, it's not time to, but it's, yeah, if you've given it the time that it needs, your situation has now ripened to a point where making a decision is very, very clear. And it looks like it'll actually be about starting something new. So maybe you'll even kind of chuck both options you just finished reading for yourself and you decide to go with the third option that maybe wasn't present at the time of this communal reading, you know. So now we're in the future a few weeks. Maybe back then there was only 2 options, and maybe now a few weeks ahead there's a third or a fourth option as well. So now making a brand new start is you know, it will definitely mean you kind of taking a leap of faith, kind of really taking the plunge and hoping for the best. But I believe that it's all going to go quite well. So if you do decide to wait before making your decision, as suggested by the communal reading, I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised and really richly rewarded. So congratulations and good luck. All right, and here we go. So this is going to be the third and last option. So those of you who picked the blue box, this cobalt blue box over here, we're going to take a look at your option here, right? So as I explained in the other 2 readings, mini readings, we're going to kind of act as if we just jumped 3 weeks into the future. So now it's, mid-January, let's say, or early January. The holidays are over. It's now 2021. You've had the luxury of being able to take your time before making this big decision, and now you've made it. You did exactly what the tarot asked you to, just kind of sit and wait until the time is right. And now you've made your decision a few weeks into the future. So now what can you expect, right? Now we're back to late December or mid-December. What can we expect in the future if we do decide to wait and follow the advice? Oh my gosh, this is like the best card. Okay, so if you do decide to wait, take a look. It's the Sun, it's Archangel Uriel. And on the bottom, I'll actually read right from it. It says, happy outcome. That's all you really need to know, right? But brilliant new ideas and leads to success. Have confidence in yourself. So there you go. If you decide to wait just a few weeks, I'm not asking you to wait another year or anything like that, but just a few more weeks. Let kind of like the dust kind of settle from all the holidays and all the commitments we're trying to maintain, even though clearly it's really not meant to be happening right now. I think it's best to, this is just my personal opinion, it's best to just kind of do as little as possible this year, and kind of accept that even the holiday season in 2020 is going to be very, very different than what we're used to. So if you do decide to give yourself this gift of time before you make your decision on whatever you read for yourself in the communal reading, you'll be really rewarded here. This is just the greatest card. This is like success. This is happiness. This is everything going exactly the way you wanted it to. It's pure joy. It's pure love. It's just, yeah. I didn't use this reading for myself, but if I had, this option would, well, all options were great here actually, but this one is the you cannot fail card, basically. Like, you have just succeeded in life. So if you do go ahead and follow the advice of the Hanged Man in the communal reading that asked you to wait before making a decision on this important issue you had and couldn't make a decision on, that you were feeling 100% about, yeah, it's worth it. So if you have to kind of frustrate people by making them wait a little bit, I think it's worth it, because it looks like if you do wait, this will be just, pure success and new opportunities. So it says like new opportunities, success, all that stuff. So I feel like it's definitely letting you know that maybe like the second group as well, new options kind of opening up that currently don't exist or that you currently don't see. So, in a few weeks, you might see them or they might pop up, and then you'll realize, oh, I don't need to choose between these two things. Now there's 4 options and this one sounds perfect. So now, boom, you've got this great opportunity that you can't even fathom right now. So, so yes, on waiting, if you can. All right, so even though the communal reading was hopefully informative, but it didn't really give you any kind of definite answer one way or the other, I think it was all worth it with the Hanged Man telling you to wait. So at the end of the day, that's what that reading was about, was this is what's going on. Looks like either option isn't looking 100%, and that's why you're having such a difficulty in making a decision, right? So I just want to apologize. Again, I did this last week too, but if this is your first time, I do live in a big city, so that's why you hear so much noise in the background. I want to just apologize for that, but there's unfortunately nothing I can do about it, so except for move. So one day, let's see. But anyways, yes, so I hope this helped you in some way. I hope it gave you some guidance, some clear advice, which is to do nothing in regards to this situation for the moment and revisit it in a few weeks. So I hope you have a great December, and yeah, just check me out. I'll be posting readings and just information, and yeah, I'd love to share it all with you guys. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend or week, depending on when you're listening to this. And I will see you next week. All right, bye guys.